Good day, everyone. My name is Cameron Chetty, and I am a skills development facilitator at the Skills and Training Department in Durban.
And I am Claudia Havenga, and I am also a skills development facilitator at the SEESA Skills Office in Durban. In today's topic, we will be discussing what to expect when you are faced with a Director General review, also known as an employment equity audit from the Department of Labour.
Thank you, Claudia. Firstly, employers are required to report to the Department of Labour for employment equity if the company employs more than 50 staff or are over the turnover threshold of that specific sector. This is when a company is referred to as a designated employer. Claudia, please explain why a company would receive an employment equity audit.
Certainly, Cameron. As a designated employer, a part of the compliance process is to be subject to a review from the Department of Labour. As we are aware, a DG review is an audit of your company's employment equity compliance and implementation process, which is assessed for the previous reporting period from anything between 12 months to 5 years. Cameron, can you please elaborate on what should companies expect when they are faced with a DG review, as well as the documentations of compliance that will be requested for the review?
Certainly, Claudia, I will be glad to. Initially, clients will either receive an EA7 document or a notice of inspection with a list of documents required for the inspection. Standard documents required upon inspection are as follows. Firstly, there's the Employment Equity Manager Appointment Letter. The next document that will be required is the company's evidence of compliance. This is your quarterly employment equity meeting minutes, the meeting agenda, as well as the attendance registers. You will also be required to supply your company Employment Equity 12 document. This is an analysis of the company's workforce demographic, its policies, procedures, company practices, and environment. The company analysis will also include a breakdown of the different barriers as well as affirmative action measures identified during the employment equity consultation process. Lastly, you will be required to supply an EA13 document, which is your company's employment equity plan. This is a complete breakdown of your company's objectives as well as goals and targets for the next 1 to 5 years.
Thank you, Cameron. Once you supply these documents to the inspector, he or she will either approve the company's compliance process or provide recommendations on how to resolve these issues within the current compliance process. Should you receive recommendations from the inspector, he or she may ask you to review your company's barriers and affirmative action measures, or your company's goals and targets, or both. The company will also need to sit with the Employment Equity Committee and discuss these recommendations as well as how to resolve them, making note of timeframes and drafting new employment equity analysis and plan and establishing new numerical goals and targets.
That's correct, Claudia. Once a new company analysis and employment equity plan has been drafted, it will be sent to the Department of Labour inspector for reviewing. Should the inspector be content and satisfied with these new reports, the company will then receive a formal approval letter from the inspector advising that all is in order.
Alternatively, Cameron, should the company be deemed non-compliant, the non-compliance matter will be referred directly to the Labour Court, where a company may be issued with a fine ranging from a minimum of 1.5 million or 2% of the company's turnover to a maximum of 2.7 million or 10% of the company's turnover.
Those are some scary fines, Claudia, but easily avoidable, granted that you adhere to the advice given to you by your skills development facilitator. Thank you, Claudia. I hope this has given our listeners an insight into the Director General review process.
And thank you, Cameron. It is great to know that SEESA has qualified subject matter experts who can advise, consult, and support clients through the DG process as well as ensure compliance.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Should you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact your nearest SEESA office.